You're listening to the Getting Salty Experience podcast.
And away we go.
That was a good one.
Set up here. Yep. Welcome back to the Getting Salty Experience podcast. It's the only podcast in the oh, maybe not. Wait a minute. It's the only one that brings the Firehouse kitchen table to. No, it's about 20. No, it's about 20 of them now, guys. Mm-hmm. Hey, come hang out with us at the kitchen table. We're gonna drink. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Oh, there's a lot of guys.
Struck him out.
We don't say names. That's a fire radio.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! It's right. What are you doing?
My word!
Actual fire radio.
My word!
What's the matter with you?
I'm sorry. This is, listen, often imitated, never duplicated right here. It's the only one that brings the Firehouse kitchen table to you. Welcome back. I got my man Ruffy. He's got a salty hat on tonight. No little Bupolina on top of his head. We got Petey and his new digs with some party lights back there.
Some party lights.
Partying, man.
I didn't know the Hebes were partying type over there. The Hebes.
You saying Hebes? What? What? Hebes?
You can't say that.
My word.
The Jewish folks.
Beautiful. What is
going on?
You can't say that. It's frowned upon. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Pete's, he's got electricity in the basement now. He's got the.
And I have a little heater. It's good. Life is good.
You got a heater back there. Nice. Yeah. Beautiful. What'd you have for dinner tonight? Some latkes? What'd you have? What'd you have for dinner?
Pizza.
Who cooks? Anyway, your mother-in-law or your wife?
Well, they're not here right now. They went on a little vacation for 3 weeks.
Oh, where'd they go?
Arizona.
Oh, they went to Arizona.
They did the hiking and the warm weather.
When you put the
dry air.
When you put the kids to bed, you're like, honey, let's go make it in mom and dad's bed tonight. So when do they come home?
That is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
What? So when do they come home? When does the fun begin?
2 or 3 weeks from now. So
so you get the whole house to yourself.
Yeah. We're settling in, and we're also getting like the closing done soon. So all that shit's locked up.
All right, beautiful. What are you drinking tonight, Ruffy? What do you got?
I got a little vodka and seltzer tonight.
Oh, me too. I got some Tito's. I put a whole bunch of shit in Tito's.
I'm already halfway down already.
And then, oh shit! I'm gonna have to call my kids down here to grab me another one. So, Pete, why don't you tell us what we're brought to you by? Why don't you give us the old plug tonight?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're the only Firehouse Kitchen Table podcast brought to you by Lucky Strike.
Smoother. And you remember that the next time you buy cigarettes. It's awfully important because, golly, in a cigarette, it's the taste that makes the difference. And Lucky's do taste cleaner, fresher, smoother. So come on, be happy. Go, Lucky. Make your next carton Lucky Strike.
I want to be happy.
Be happy, go Lucky, get better taste today.
Could you even imagine? And then it said buy war bonds at the end.
Well, golly, let's get this with no filters on it.
That's quite enough, devil woman. Now go make me a sandwich before you catch the back of my hat. Lucky Strike, ladies and gentlemen.
No, perfect white guy voice. That's right.
Well, you'll be hearing that later when we play the newsreels for the perfect white guy voice.
Holy Christ! I can't believe people are watching
Why
this.
Don't you give the real fucking plugs, will you?
Of course. Tonight we're brought to you, as we are always brought to you, by GettingSaltyApparel.com, guys, where you'll find the cool guy hat, the very cool hat that Mr. Louis Refrano is wearing. I think they call it a baseball hat. And of course, one of these space-age thermos mugs keeps the hot stuff hot, the cold stuff cold, anything else you'll need.
I think I can finally listen to that guy's voice.
Head on over to GettingSaltyApparel.com, where you'll find all the greatest fighter apparel and accessories on the internet. What the hell is the fucking internet?
Dude, I have to say, it took a year to finally find a voice that I could stomach.
Beautiful.
My
What
word.
is that? Beautiful.
My word.
All right, we're gonna, as you can see, we're gonna have a little less serious show than the last show. We're gonna have some shits and giggles tonight.
My
Shits
word.
and giggles.
My word.
But not that a plane crash is light, but still, you know what I mean? After last week's show, we're gonna make it a little light with Pete, the announcer. So let's dive right into it. You got anything else before we jump right into this?
No, let's do it.
All right, man. Let me set it up for you. Seeing that we're getting very dramatic.
Nice.
It was the height of the summer. The day was unusually dreary and foggy. Despite the chilly blanket of gray that shrouded the tall buildings of Manhattan, New Yorkers had much to feel good about on that Saturday, July 28th, 1945. The Yankees had shut out Philadelphia Athletics 2-0 the day before. The war in Europe had been over for 2.5 months. President Harry S. Truman was in Germany reviewing the troops in Frankfurt AM and preparing for the Big Three conference in Potsdam.
But the damn
Germany.
Japs were still at us.
You just killed me. I don't think we dropped the big one on those slanty little bastards. So
We should have had Dangerfield. We should have
You
had Sam Kinison. We should have had Sam Kinison. You know why? Because
you have that somebody.
oh, that's too funny.
I didn't want to get involved with the conversation, Mr. Helper.
Mr. Helper.
All right, so the war was still on. I'm setting it up for you. It was a dreary. Thank God it was a Saturday because what we say, Pete, there was 1,500 people in the streets instead of 15,000 people.
There was
in the building.
In the building over.
In the building, and there was even more people on the street. Look at me for the bad information. Thank you, Pete. Producer Pete is on his A game tonight. I gotta say, bro, it's beautiful.
It's pretty funny tonight, I have to say.
All right, so this is the thing that struck me the most is that the war was still on with Japan, and we were bombing the living shit out of Tokyo, and people must have had it in the back of their head, like, hey, maybe they're gonna come over here and bomb us, and that's all you have a plane that flies into the side of the Empire State Building. So, as a matter of fact, it said it right now. 1944, there was full of stories of fire bombings of Japanese cities. And the pronouncement by military officials that the United States was preparing a force of 7 million men, 8,000 airplanes for an invasion of Japan. And thank God we had, what they call him, little fat boy or whatever it was. We dropped those 2 nukes on him. And that was the end of
the Enola Gay.
The Enola Gay dropping up 2 on the Japs. You don't have to say Japs? My father still says Japs. You know why? Because when he was in the Philippines, they treated the Filipino people like shit, man. They tortured them. So you can't even say, he just says Japs. My wife's like, I think you say Jap.
If you ever see that Japanese rising sun, that like red sun with the red rays coming off of it, in Korea, that's considered the same as a Nazi flag, right? So, over here in America, a lot of people get that stuff as like a tattoo or whatever, but it's really, they really did a lot of damage over there in Asia.
Yeah, don't bring that around my father-in-law, bro. He'll fucking blast you off the front porch.
Take out the Ginsu knife on your ass.
They really fucked up in the early 20th century.
Oh, yeah. My father-in-law's, he had a huge house over there, like a mansion, and they threw this whole family out. They used his house as the headquarters for the Japanese in the Philippines. So he had that going for him.
So that's nice. Peter, you want to run that? We got a little newsreel from back in the day with the white guy voice again, and
Ladies and
set the
gentlemen,
stage.
If my esteemed colleague Kevin didn't help you with the setting the stage, let this newsreel be a help to you. And also, remember to light up a lucky strike and have your lady make you a sandwich.
At the corner of 5th Avenue and 34th Street in the center of New York's shopping district stands the world's tallest building, 1,248 feet high. The Empire State Building. It's a gigantic place filled with offices and workers, almost a business city on its own. A building with express lifts and wonderful views that attract all visitors. This was the scene of the recent plane crash. It happened when workers were at their desks on a Saturday morning between 9 and 10 o'clock. Miles away, a Mitchell bomber had taken off from Bedford, Massachusetts. The pilot flying over LaGuardia airfield was advised to land because of fog. But he headed for Newark instead along what he thought was this route. The route he actually took led him straight through the fog into the Empire State Building. plane crashed into the 78th and 79th stories at a speed of about 200 miles an hour. It smashed through 7 walls. Blazing petrol set 11 stories of the building on fire. No one knew what had happened. The wildest rumors spread through New York, but firemen were on the job, and in very quick time they had the fires out. "13 lives, in addition to those of the crew of 3, were lost instantly. Many others received burns, injuries, and shock. One body was found on a ledge 7 stories down. The scene, in fact, both in the building and in the street, was reminiscent of an incident in a blitz. The death roll, tragic as it was, seemed miraculously small. One of the plane's props was found embedded in the wall. One of the lifts plunged down 80 floors. One of the Mitchell's engines crashed almost 1,000 feet below. The other hurtled across the building and fell on the penthouse on the roof of a 12-story building in the next street. Other parts of the bomber crashed into the busy 34th Street, yet no one down there was injured. Here it also looked like an incident, but 2 days later the Empire State Building was open again. Business as usual, in fact.
Dude, that guy sounded.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I saw your face turn when you said that. I didn't know it was known as La Guardia. What the fuck?
Holy shit. That's great. All right, Rufy, take it from your spot. Go, bro.
All right, so just when I first saw this story and first heard about this story, I was thinking to myself, how the heck did one of these planes crash into the, who was flying this thing? So when we first looked at this story, the B-25's pilot, Lieutenant Colonel William F. Smith Jr., he flew B-17s in the war, obviously a brave and competent heavy bomber pilot. He was a handsome West Pointer and an All-American lacrosse jock, a bomber squadron company officer, and then a decorated deputy group commander and lieutenant colonel by the time he was 27. He was one of the youngest in the entire armed force, Army Air Forces. He was accustomed to being in command, in control. Smith had a devil may care attitude. Devil may care attitude. One Army Air Force memorial site reminisced after the disaster. So the guy
he
obviously
was also a stand-in double for Vincent Price.
I mean, look at that guy, right? I mean,
some might call it, I don't know, a devil may care attitude. So that's
devil may care. I'm like, what the heck?
What an old timey.
It was actually not flying with instruments. It was so foggy. He was using the ground as a reference point.
Well, that's what they said. A lot of times, these a lot of the guys when they came back looked at the air traffic controllers kind of like a little fugazi. You know what I mean? They didn't really trust them. A lot of guys weren't flying by, I guess, planned routes. So most of these guys were always flying low. And I guess when he got the call to go to Newark, they actually tried to cancel him. It actually said here, I wanted to see if I could find that. They actually said they tried to ground him. And in fact, he was in trouble. If he would have got landed somewhere, he was going to get in trouble because he went out on his own when they tried to ground him because it was too foggy.
Wow.
This is exactly what happened.
Did you say he was 27 years old? The guy looks like he's
been smoking Lucky Strikes. That's right.
He looks so young.
He looks so young on account of the Lucky Strikes.
No, he looks old.
27. It's crazy because this. What was I going to say? My God, I just lost my place. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
No. So it says here now he was back in the States.
It's what happened to Kobe Bryant on his helicopter.
Yes,
exact same thing.
Yes.
Exact same thing recently.
Now he was back in the States where air traffic control was still primitive. Airline traffic filed instrument flight plans and flew appointed routes, maintaining separation by frequent radio contact with controllers since there was no ATC radar. Military traffic, however, had priority and operated pretty much at will. So there you go. The guy pretty much had carte blanche to to smoke cigarettes and
Nice.
fly wherever the hell he wanted to go.
Beautiful. I like what his name just said. It was an unlucky strike.
Unlucky
come
strike.
on. Oh,
My
man.
word.
That was great.
Thank God it's only like 80 years.
Kevin Malone,
Kind of lessons
nice one,
to
man.
Too early, Coobs? Too early for the unlucky strike?
No, not at all.
Look at what he was flying, though. Badass. B-25, 35,000 pounds of death. Nice.
Yeah, man.
Thing's badass. Look, it's got the rotary cannon in the back where you're sitting in there like the freaking Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
You know, and then the two guns up front.
Oh, there was one lady. I forget what office she was in. I don't know why I wrote it down, man. But she actually could see their faces. That's how close he was when he tried to pull up. He tried to. He's at the 70-something floor. He's trying to pull up. You're a little late then if the lady sees your face. You're trying to pull up them, bro.
He had two passengers. One was a U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant, C-47 crew chief, and the other was a Navy aviation machinist's mate hitching a ride. The Navy guy was in the jump seat behind the cockpit. The Staff Sergeant was in the co-pilot seat, but largely as a sightseer. Smith was single piloting it. Had single piloted an airplane normally flown by a cockpit crew of two.
What did you just say? Cock?
He said cock. He was flying a big, fast, complex piston twin, reading a chart and working the radios. No big deal for anybody who has flown a Cessna or Piper twin. But a B-25 was 8 times as heavy and far more complex when a modern light twin with digital avionics.
Did you guys read the part where there's a really interesting part about his co-pilot, who was some guy, I believe his name is Dimitrovich or something like that. The guy had been shot down behind enemy lines in, I believe, Denmark, and he was in German territory, captured, escaped, and like snuck his way back to the front and made it to the American line, and only to come home and crash right into the side of the Empire State Building at 200 miles an hour. My word.
Now he's unlucky. Now we're going to talk about the young lady who was the elevator operator. Now that broad, she should have played lotto if they had lotto back then, bro. Because that broad was lucky as hell, bro.
We had the numbers racket back then.
Yeah. The numbers racket. So a lot of people what they were saying was that it was such a foggy day that they originally thought it was either a lightning strike or thunder or something, so they didn't know what the hell it was. Or, maybe the Japs. Who knows? You can always say the Japs.
Oh, actually, I just found it. LaGuardia. Had notified Newark and recommended that Smith land immediately. In fact, they very much wanted wanted him to land immediately so they could throw the book at him for violating a number of rules. And LaGuardia Tower phoned the Army Flight Service Center in charge of military traffic and asked that they do the same. And the Army declined.
Ooh.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was a war hero. Maybe he was like flying with a little bit of Grandpa's cough syrup in his left breast pocket. You know what I'm saying? And
maybe he was drinking a Tussin.
They actually the actual controller at one point. We don't have that, but one of the controllers said from the tower that they had a good view of Manhattan, and he said, "At this time, we are unable to see the top of the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building was 1,250 feet to the top of the occupied floor and 1,454 to the tip of the radio mast. Within minutes of that, Smith's B-25 would center punch the building at 975 feet above the street. Smith City, Roger Tower, thank you very much. We'll continue to Newark." So they actually tried to have him not go to Newark. And that's what he wrote. He said to them, "Roger Tower, thank you very much. We'll continue to Newark."
Roger Tower will fly wherever the fuck I want.
Nice. You know what talked about this guy, bro?
I'm a fucking war hero, you
All right,
pussy.
take it easy now with the F-bombs, all right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
All right, so
I'm a gosh
Don't
darn
get
war
carried
hero.
away.
don't wear out the voice now.
Okay.
It's funny right now. Don't wear it out.
All right.
Don't wear it out.
I'll leave it alone. That's it. That's the end of it.
All right. So the thing that amazes me is that this guy flew 235 missions, the last one being on Hitler's birthday. The guy flies 235 war missions and then slams his plane into the side of the Empire State Building. You talk about what we were talking about last week. The universe. The universe has got whatever it's got for you, bro.
Yeah.
You can fly under enemy fire, 235 goddamn missions.
What
was it? What was it we said a couple weeks back though? Like 2-3 weeks ago, we said it's not the stuff that you don't know that'll get you; it's the stuff that you do know that'll get you. Right. So he I mean, with respect, and he did probably have a little bit of that ego going. Right. He just came back from the war.
I watch those shows all the time. What makes planes fall out of the sky, and almost always it's a little bit of pride. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of that.
Really?
You know. Oh yeah. It says here. For some reason, Smith had approached Manhattan, assuming he was already well over the unobstructed ground and heading to Jersey. So he was into the East River, coming over. I read another article. He was coming over. Right. He was coming over at that time, Welfare Island, which is right to the right of that red dot, that little strip in between on the East River. Right.
So what do you think? It was Jersey?
He thought that was he was passing Manhattan. That's what the because he only saw the tip of it. That's the thing that they saw. He saw the tip.
Just the tip. Just the
It
tip.
looks like a Don Japanese flag.
Oh, he thought he was actually landing. He had to he put his gear down in preparation for landing.
Oh no!
Pulled him.
Yeah. So as he turned south down Fifth Avenue, 8 blocks north of the Empire State Buildings, the wheel was slowly coming back up, but their added drag kept the B-25's rate of climb low. Smith had climbed far enough that now he was in the cloud. So the skyscraper appeared in his windshield in a microsecond. So he was low. He realized he came into the buildings and he tried to climb, and then he actually went back into the clouds. And
that was it. Oops.
Good night, Gracie.
Yeah, man.
He would have no time to utter the obscenity that is so often the last word that you hear from a modern. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder if from a guy who's often shit himself, I wonder if he actually shit himself, bro.
They said it was. They
Instantaneous.
didn't even know it. Yeah, they didn't even know it.
Oh,
so we got some of those other pictures, Petey. What do you got? Some of those pictures are amazing.
I'm just snatching up a video here while we're talking, but the brothers working up there is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, so there was 3 floors. Most of the fuel actually came outside the building, but obviously some fuel went into the building, and unfortunately, 11 people. Right, Coobs? It was 11.
14 total.
14 total. 3 on the plane and 11.
Yeah.
In the building.
It could have been a hell of a lot more. And some of them were nuns. I think it was a Catholic.
It was. You're right.
Catholic office or something like that.
Yeah, the two floors. In fact, I think the Monsignor was walking to the building and he saw the plane.
Really?
Or heard the plane. A lot of people heard the plane.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was 3 floors of fire. Most of the plane didn't actually go into the building. Most of it stayed outside the building except for the 2 engines.
2 engines. One engine went all the way through, clear to the other side of the building and punched a hole in the other side of the building. And then one of the engines went down into the elevator shaft, I think.
There was some fires in 2 other buildings caused by this, like in a penthouse or something.
Yeah.
Pretty gnarly right there. The steel did manage to hold, though. Pretty remarkable.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about that a little bit too. How the quality construction back then with the steel, not only from the heat, the guy, I'm sure the brothers did a great job putting it out, but just from the blast itself and how the steel kept the building up, the quality of the steel and the way it was built, steel all around. And I think that Mike was saying, I don't want to give his Mike Kelly, AKA, who was saying that it was what were you saying, Mikey? That there was some kind of stone or something, 8 inches of stone. I don't know what Mikey was. I just caught it.
I think he said 7 inches of stone, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? That was my nickname in high school, 7 inches of stone.
Was it? They called me lucky. Strike. Oh, shoot, man. Well, yeah. I'm actually searching for more footage of this scene. And
limestone. Did he say limestone? Maybe he said limestone. Maybe he said limestone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you want that, there was a 20-year-old girl Kevin was just talking about.
Elevator operator.
Betty Lou Oliver was working. It was actually her very last day as the elevator operator. I don't know if they just stuck that in there to make it more dramatic, but
her
she was
very last day.
That's what
that
it
even
says.
makes the story even better, bro. Because not only was she blasted out of the car, right, and she got burnt up and banged up on the what floor, the 70th or the 60th floor, whatever the hell it was, 70th floor. Some people found her, right, and they put her. They were going to get her down to the street. They put her in the car first. They didn't get in the car, and the cable snapped, and she fell 1,000 feet. And the brakes didn't catch, and the only reason she survived a 1,000-foot fall in the elevator was all the cables that fall into the shaft, and it acted like a net,
like a spring,
like
almost.
a spring. Yeah. So this broad fell 1,000 feet. First,
That's the world record. That's the Guinness Book of World Records. Actually,
really?
It is. I saw an article that said that's the longest fall in an elevator. Yeah.
Well,
but everything was crushed. The whole thing was crushed on top of her. It wasn't like she was in bad shape. They had to cut her out.
We have a little 2-minute video that shows her story. If you guys want,
go, cool. Bring it up.
Here we go. Yep.
Didn't even tell about how they put her in the goddamn elevator and it fell 1,000 feet.
It didn't say that.
The actress that played her is a piece, but there's
that's
Betty
a
Lou.
peach, hon. That's Betty.
There's Betty Lou right there. Hey, Betty Lou.
You know what I want to know is the broad that was telling the story. Where was she coming from? The Kentucky Derby with that goddamn hat on?
That's what they did in the 40s, baby.
She was a teenager, much like me. No.
So Betty Lou makes a full recovery. She would go on to have 3 kids. She died in 1999.
No,
wow.
Fort Smith, Arkansas, at the age of 74.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. She's a happy lady. You know,
that looks like a Filipino nurse next to him, bro. Just saying, I could spot him a mile away.
I've had my eye on her for the half the day today. Check her out, man. Nice.
Yeah.
I like these old nurses' outfits, not the scrubs they got. Mamma mia.
All right. So Betty Lou free falls 1,000 feet and survives. They left that part out.
And they go in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yep.
So they're saying that the crash caused about $1 million in damage, and in today's money, actually $20 is about $14 million.
Wow. Oof. I think who's first due there? Like at One Engine or by the Madison Square Garden? They're close to that. 24.
You know what? I'm not sure.
Oh, we have some maybe one of the intrepid folks in the
One Engine. That's
is that 13 there too? What is that? 13?
I can't read what the hell it says, but it's One Engine.
Back.
It looks like a 13 here. Let me zoom in a little.
It's definitely one Engine.
1 in 24.
Yeah. Oh, Ronzoni just said 1 in 24. Yeah, 1 in 24. First due. Getting it done. Oh, what's that guy saying? That guy's a truckie right there, Pete. The guy closest to us with the bag in his hand.
Yeah, I'm looking.
That's one truck there.
No, it can't be one truck.
I don't know. It looks red.
Rescue Squad.
Oh, Rescue
Squad.
Oh, Rescue 1.
Oh, there it is. Here's
Imagine
the
if you had that bag. Imagine if you had that bag.
Yeah. Is that Hank?
Hank Millay.
Oh shit!
Young Hank Millay, and right behind him, Fat Daddy Ray.
Oh. No, that guy's too skinny.
My word. Oh, that's young Fat Daddy Ray.
The guy that looks like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
You know, actually, this just in, you guys. I was very lucky to find some very rare footage from inside the cockpit of the B-25.
That should be interesting.
Here we go.
Flight 209er, you are cleared for takeoff.
Roger. Huh?
LA departure frequency 123.9er.
Roger. Huh? Request vector. Over. What?
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Tower radio clearance, over.
That's Clarence, over. Over.
Roger.
Huh?
Roger, over.
What? Huh?
So as you can see, lots of confusion.
Very confusion.
Roger. What? Clarence.
Wow.
What? Ooh.
I'm going to go with Pete as being Gomer Pyle tonight. You are reborn hardcore. You could serve in my Marine anytime, brother.
You look like 200 pounds of chewed bubblegum. Get off my obstacle.
Get the fuck off my obstacle, Pyle.
Something else here.
First half of that movie's perfect.
Oh, I love that's the first movie I ever watched with my old lady, bro. That's a sentimental day. That's how we go. Oh yes. All right. So where are we going from there? So they I had something else.
We had the steel.
Oh, Pete. Yeah, let's talk about why this building actually stayed up, because that's when men were men. They built. They built.
I have that.
They built sturdy.
Yes.
The
So
beaver mother.
the following video will have all the details you guys need to know about beams that saved this building. Here it is.
What you see here is a beam like you would find in the floor joists or the floor beams of the Empire State Building, and it would hold up the floors. What we will see is how much ductility, how much ability this steel has to actually deform before it breaks.
Adrian applies 3 tons of force to the steel beam.
So now we are pushing on the beam still, and you can see that it's deflecting very heavily. Something moved a little, but we're okay. We can keep going.
As Adrian increases the weight load to 3.9 tons, the steel beam is still holding strong.
So you can see this is absolutely amazing. The beam is completely deformed in the middle, but it's still holding almost 4 tons of spring energy. It looks like it failed, but it's actually still doing its work.
This steel has an incredible ductility. It can bend in half before it snaps. A photo of the impact the B-25 makes on the building proves the incredible strength of the beams.
Yeah.
That's American-made steel right there, bro. None of this Chinese shit.
Look at that! Look at those guys all tied off just in case.
Yeah,
guy's got a bag on. Look at it. Looks like a lawyer over there or something. Look at that bag.
Not even facing the hole.
Unbelievable.
Probably had a 6-pack at lunch too.
Holy Christ! Where's the scaffold picture, Petey?
Oh yeah, hold on. This one's great. Oh my God. What is holding that thing up?
And there's another. There was another one. I don't know which one it was. I saw that was freaking awesome. I like these guys are.
They're savages. These are. Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. Oh my God! Get out of here.
Is that crazy or something?
I mean, you know, just seeing them on the window washer rigs, right? That's scary enough, and that's got all the the rails and everything. This is just like
They got a couple of boards, 2x4s on there.
1,
2
2,
by 8,
3, 4, 2 by 8.
Yeah.
That's it. And this looks like maybe aluminum scaffolding, right? Probably aluminum, maybe steel. I don't know.
I don't know how long it took to fix. How long you think? Back in the day, it took a year to build a building. So how long? Probably took them like a week to fix that, right?
To build the building, bro. Which is amazing.
1 year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good God, man, look at this. Yeah, because they weren't tied up with all the nonsense that people were tied up with now, like regulations.
Yeah, man. Those are salty dogs right there, bro. Those are some get salty motherfuckers right there. That's what men do.
There was something else here. It was less than 1 year after this accident, an Army Air Force Twin Beach C-45F Expediter, wow, crashed into another Manhattan skyscraper at 40 Wall Street. The Beechcraft was also en route to Newark and flying low through the clouds. It had 5 occupants, all died. And then the U.S. Air Force finally basically changed, the thing with the military pilots, flying in domestic airspace, that they would have to go through some serious retraining before they were allowed to operate. Just now you can't even fly. I don't even think you could fly over that stuff at certain heights, right? I mean,
you can. I don't think you can fly over Manhattan anymore.
Yeah, right. You have to come down the river.
They also restricted the amount of drinks to 4 lunchtime drinks.
Hiccup. And 2 lucky strikes.
Well, there was I remember the plane crash. There was a plane crash in Manhattan not too long. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was like a Cessna or something that flew into.
That was the guy from the Yankees.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Oh shit!
But that was right by where you were, right? That was 39 and 16, right?
I was gone there. Wow, a 44 engine. Yeah, 44 engine put that out, bro. Yep.
Yeah,
Lytle was his name. Lytle. That Corey Lytle.
Corey Lytle. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You know, I was there actually covering the scene for that for Fox at that point.
Man. See if you can pull that up. If you can find it, Pete. That was a hell of a fire, bro.
Yeah, man. I will. You know, I have to ask you guys a question. So this is on the 80th floor and the 79th floor. So the brothers wouldn't have been able to take the elevator because of the scene. They would have had to go up those 80 floors with a bunch of hose. And what do? Link up to a stretch it and link up to a standpipe and then hit it?
Standpipe the floor below.
That's exactly what they do.
Wow, look
exactly.
At Pete.
Who is that guy?
Somebody get Pete a job on the job. Who is this guy? What?
Imagine walking up 70 flights.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just was thinking about them
and then having to go to work.
Reading the story. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, hence the elevator appreciation that I used to do in the squad, bro. I used to make them climb 20 stories, carrying their gear every morning if I was working.
Dude, that's why, like, although I'm not a big CrossFit guy, right? Because like I hurt myself doing that, and I think it's so easy to hurt yourself doing functional stuff if you're not, if you're like trying to overdo it and push yourself like I was. But it really is the best option because you're talking about wasting yourself. You're wasted, and then you go to work.
Yeah,
unbelievable, man. Really unbelievable.
Well, did they have masks back then, Ruffy? They had the jeans. They didn't have bunker gear. That's for sure.
No, they didn't have masks.
Nah. So I mean.
Let me find this Corey Lytle plane crash. But that right there, man, you want to talk about that's what men do.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt.
Corey Lytle plane crash. There it is. Let's see. Corey Lytle plane crash.
What year was that?
2006.
2000-something.
2006. Here it is. Blowing out the side of the building. Let me dump this one and I'll show you this one. Hey,
I remember watching that and seeing the water starting to come out when the guys started hitting it from inside, being like, "Yeah, I get it."
There it is.
Yeah, man. 44 engine.
That's serious business. Look at that.
You know what? The pipe there. Remember the big kid, the big Irish kid who was in 44? He used to take details all the time. I think he's in squad now. I think he's in squad 18. I don't remember his name. Some Irish, big, dopey Irish kid. I was trying to get him to come over to 288. He had the pipe at that job.
Look at this. Look at the work.
Hey, cool. I just found the order of the fire department on that box, the B-25. So it's engine 1, 14, 16, and 26. And the trucks are 24 and 7. And it was the 3rd Division and the 7th Battalion. The second alarm brought 65 engine, 19 engine, 72 engine, and 21 engine, and 34 truck.
What did it go to?
It went to 4th alarm within 8 minutes.
Wow.
And then let me see if when it went under control.
They were saying that the reason that also that the heat didn't compromise the steel was that they did a good job getting water and knocking it down. I think they knocked it down fairly quick.
Yeah. So what we see there was 13 engine. 13 engine was on the 4th alarm. Rescue 1 went on the 2nd alarm.
I wonder, just what the difference was architecturally and the planes that hit the towers, in terms of the steel in the towers, was it constructed differently? I know that it had a lot of glass as opposed to a lot of brick and concrete and all that other limestone that
it's open web
steel joist. So I remember that building was made to move and shift as well, because I was shooting at the top of that building multiple times, and you would feel on a windy day, you'd feel that sway,
Yeah, but all the pressure on the trade center was all of the supports was on the outside, the exterior. The inside was made to have an open floor plan. Like the Empire State Building doesn't have that.
I got it.
Doesn't have that floor plan, so they had open web steel joist there, or so once they melted, that's it.
Check this out. Hank Mollet coming in Hot from the early bird special saying, we walked up 63 stories at a building under a construction job, went to a third alarm. There was a labor dispute and the standpipe had been compromised.
Ooh, that's disgusting. That means you have to stretch.
Whew.
Yeah, that's what Hank was saying too, that the trade center was curtain wall construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, the Empire State Building had steel cased in concrete. There you go. I wonder, could they have built the trade center as tall as it was if it was steel cased in concrete?
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't so much about that. It was about getting the most space for the offices. That's the situation.
Oh, this is a good question. Maybe one of you guys have the answer to. Zach Gallister is asking, how do you meet the nozzle pressure at the floor below after so many floors of elevation gain?
You got to get
to augment it. They got to go into the Siamese.
Well, that or they have the high pressure rigs. That I don't know what they are. 2,000. I don't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, but you have to augment it. You got to pump into the Siamese too.
Yeah. In fact, on that readout that I just did, there was a high pressure company that responded to that to give pressure.
I'm not. Forgive me for asking. I know what the Siamese looks like because I've seen it a million times. I've sat on them, on the side of streets and stuff. But what do you mean by augmenting and putting pressure into it?
You got to get on a hydrant. You got to pump into the system.
Okay.
So you're pushing pressure into the system, and they might have a tank on the. Some of not the Empire State Building, but sometimes they have tanks on the top too.
It is 2,000 gallons, but yeah, it has. Yeah. It is 2,000 gallons. I wasn't sure.
Crazy. What a day, man. To be able to go up 77, 78 floors, then hook up, somebody's getting yelled at, fucking hook up that line. And then, having to stretch.
Operating, 2.5. Yeah. Whew. And like, I think somebody in there was saying too, like, back in the day, those hoses were heavy with brass couplings too, man. So not the ones that we had, so that shit was heavy.
Yeah, I was going to say the hoses must have been constructed differently.
But they were carrying a lot less weight themselves. You know what I mean? They
didn't have the bottle. They didn't have bumper gear. Yeah,
they had rubber boots and a coat and a leather hat and dungarees.
Maybe. Yeah. Yep.
Crazy. So Hank is saying the steel at the Trade Center was coated with popcorn fire retardant. The explosion blew most of it off, exposing the steel, which failed under the flame impingement.
That's what happened.
Yep.
They had fire retardant on it.
Guys, I'm not asking, believe me, I'm not asking in a conspiratorial manner or any of that bullshit. I'm just asking really just to understand why one building would fall and one wouldn't. That's
it was just different.
Fascinating.
It was just different. Plus, it was a 747 with 10,000 gallons of fuel as opposed to a little bomber.
B-25. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Right. Yeah, so that had a lot more fuel because
747 was doing 500, 600 miles an hour. That bomber, I think, was doing 150 miles an hour.
200 miles an hour.
200 miles an hour. So,
and I wonder if jet fuel burns differently than whatever they were putting in the prop plane there back in the old days. Does it burn?
Well, most of that didn't even make it because it didn't go through. It didn't get into the interior so much. I mean, it still killed 11 people. Think about that.
Yep.
And it burned for I don't know how many floors, at least a few floors.
So, if that were to happen today, I guess the procedure would be pretty much the same, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you put the wet stuff on the red stuff. That's it. No,
I mean, you're still climbing the 80 floors or whatever, and cooking up to it.
Well, it depends if you have the access to the elevator. I don't know if they had access to the elevator. There might have been 10 elevators in. Who the hell knows how many elevators in there?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Right, so they could have had access. Maybe they didn't walk up. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
And sprinklers would have been blown out if they even had them. They don't have them back then, right? No sprinklers on the system like that.
I don't know if they were sprinkled then.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't know when all those laws change. As fires happen, the laws change. So in the 30s and 40s, 20s, a lot of the laws changed, for sprinklering, just recently.
Captain Tomo says, what elevation calculations? Who has time for that? Listen real close to the radio. Keep throttling up until you hear all kinds of screaming and cursing. Then back off 10 PSI and you're all set.
They ain't lying.
God bless.
He ain't lying.
God bless. That's a man who works. And then
you don't want to hear more pressure. Just keep giving it to him.
Zeke McHale saying military fuel burns like crap. So that would make sense that there would be more fuel in the 747 because it's like a big bus essentially, and then also that it burns better, and hotter.
Yep.
Nuts. The new World Trade Center addressed that problem 20 years too late, but they addressed it.
Do we have anything else on that plane crash, Coobs? That was it, right? Pretty much.
I'm looking to see if the Empire State Building is sprinkled.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Everything is retrofitted now.
Yeah. Well, I just think that this is one of those, like, it's such a New York thing, isn't it? Right? Like, a crazy situation like this all the way back in 1945, even. But my God, imagine like in the middle of the week, it could have not only would have killed more people in the building, but it would have killed so many more people on the streets. Just
a lot of people got cut up by the glass that was falling too. They didn't die, but a lot of people.
Dude, one of the guys it's another thing I read. One of the guys who got killed in the building actually got blown out of the building and fell.
The reporter, the Buffalo reporter.
One of the guys died by getting, he was on fire. All those guys were burnt bad, but he actually got blown out of the building from the concussion there.
Yep.
That's not a good way to go.
Chief Steve on BI for the Empire State Building?
I know one guy who wasn't on BI.
Hey! I know a guy who was never on BI.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Empire State Building has 73 elevators. Steve Pee is saying. That's what Steve Pee is saying.
Holy shit.
Well,
there you go. I'm sure one of them was working.
Yeah.
That poor bitch went into one that was fucking all cut up. Holy Christ.
Yeah.
I've been to the top of that thing a bunch of times. Try doing sound at the top of the Empire State Building. Everything just.
The only time I was ever in the Empire State Building, again, me and Tom Evans doing that stupid hammer team, and we get a legit fucking white powder run. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. But everybody's like, the hammer team is great. You don't really do nothing. We have 2 runs that are legit white powder runs. Like, I'm done.
I remember when we were kids, we took a class trip to the top, and I was more excited to see the lobby. Like, the lobby was incredible there, right? When you walk in there, it's like it looks like you're walking back into the 30s.
Yeah, that shit's expensive now, man, to get in to see it.
Is it? I don't know.
My God, yeah. What was it, like $30-$40 to get up to the top?
What? Really? Come on.
What a rip.
Pete, Google it. Pete,
what a rip is right.
Pete, do the Google.
Punch it up in the Google.
I'll punch it up in the knowledge machine of the
internet. Do it.
Have a lucky strike.
In the Google.
How much?
Right, Art Deco. That's what it is. Art Deco. I like it.
Art Deco. Who's Art?
Here it is.
Art Deco.
I went when we were looking for
the Chrysler Building. Chrysler Building is Art Deco.
When we were looking for places to, it's $42 for an adult.
I told you. Jesus. Yeah, so I was there with my wife.
It's got 2 arms. It's not going to be on the top of the Empire State Building.
This guy
right
here. You bet your ass. My wife and I were looking at Russo's on the Bay, maybe to get married at, and the guy goes, we consider it deco, but not too deco. And I was like, we're good. We're out of here.
Deco. You know what I mean? We got a couple decos over here, a couple decos over there.
Yeah.
My wife and I still laugh about that one.
Hey, Coobs.
Yo.
If you got a gizzard and I got a gizzard, what do we got?
I don't know. 2 gizzards?
We got a gizzard each. You know what I
mean? We got 1 gizzard each.
We got a gizzard each.
Wow, that's
my God.
One of those Italian jokes.
Here's Silly in the chat. Won't leave senior man Molay alone. He's asking Molay who's chewing his food for him tonight.
Oh,
mamma mia!
You know what I got to do, right? Like I always got to do. I can't hold it. I don't know what it is. I'm running.
You must make a pee. Yeah, dudes. I don't know. This is just a crazy story. I can't believe, a guy. I bet it was all ego, Lou. I really do.
A lot of times when I'm like I said, when I watch those shows, pride gets involved there. You know what I mean? So the fact that they didn't want to listen to, again, I don't know. We're just going through half-ass articles, so we don't really know the facts. But it seems like the articles, the way they were written, seemed like he was doing his own thing. I mean, he had the reputation of doing that. So Most of the time, you get into a little bit of trouble. I mean, can you imagine how many helicopter crashes, right? We had a few of those in the 2000s. I know. Forget about the ones that went in the river.
Yes, I washed my hands.
The ones that went on the roofs, right? There was a couple helicopters that fell out of the sky a few times. So
yeah, no, 235 missions though. I'm just trying to get in this guy's head, right? So 235 combat missions during World War II when multiple bombing runs were made. That's a really significant thing. So the guy, I could see how he might be like, these guys, the tower guys are full of crap.
Buffoons, right?
What do they know? I got this. But in those kinds of conditions, that pea soup condition, man, you're not going to, you're not seeing anything.
You know what's funny now is we don't really have. I mean, that one in 2006 or whatever that was, but for the most part, we don't have that happen in the small planes too much anymore. Now we have cranes falling all over the place.
Yes,
we always have a crane falling, right?
Yeah,
every day. All the time. There's some type of crane incident.
So a while back, someone calls me up and they're like, "Dude, you got to get a job as a crane operator, man." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "You want to make $250,000 a year?"
Those guys make like $2,000 a day, I think.
Oh yeah, easily.
Oh yeah.
It just, do you want to blow off the side of a building? Yeah, but
I got another story. It had nothing to do with the plane.
Clark Gable. He does look like Mike. He does look like Clark Gable. I think everybody in the 40s looked like Clark Gable,
so
right?
Look at this, bro. Check this out. So my son's got the Pinewood Derby, right? You know what that is with the Boy Scouts?
Yeah,
so I'm building a Pinewood Derby that looks like the squad rig, right?
Let's see it.
You put lights on it?
Get out of here.
That's got to be up to the same weight, right? You have to have a certain weight.
Oh, I got weights drilled in the bottom here, bro. I have them drilled in the bottom, put in there. So my wife's like, this is for the kid, right? He's got to do it, right? I'm like, yeah, let him do it. Don't worry about it. So I go, Lucas, start spraying. All right, just spray from far back.
No, not over there.
He don't even do a half a spray. I'm like, I got it.
So when is the big race?
It's in March. I don't know. I got to put the wheels on this thing, but
dude, you got to send us a video.
I'm making a little hose bed too. I'm making a hose out of twine. I'm going to spray paint it white, put it in the bag.
You're going to go over on the weight. You better have the weight.
Oh no, I got the weight. I got it all down, dude. 5 out.
Well, let me just explain something to you. I don't know. I don't know much about the Derby. But you got a fucking square front there, bro. You drag it. You know what I mean? You need aerodynamics.
Listen, here's the thing. There's 2 categories for trophies. One is the best first responder vehicle, right here. That's it. Thank you. The kid won last year on speed. He came second.
Lance Johnson said, "Gets narrower the faster you go." The skinnier you get.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Did you guys ever see any? I'm spitballing here, but wouldn't they at least try to make a more aerodynamic front to a rig? Or no? Have they ever tried that?
Aerodynamic front?
Yeah, like it's flat. Every rig is flat up front, so it's dragging.
I would imagine they don't really want you to go that fast. First of all, I mean,
that makes sense. There you go.
We're not on an Indy track going left all the time. You know what I mean? Turn left, turn left, turn left.
Turn left, turn left.
So, yeah.
This is true.
Yep.
All right, boys. Well, I think
you had
a good one.
You had a shout out there, Kubi Coobs, right?
I got a couple of them. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first? You got
it? You go. No, I don't. I gave them all to you, actually.
Oh, you did? Okay. So the first one is the 29th anniversary of Lieutenant Tommy Williams' line of duty death. So we're gonna give him the 5 bells tonight because he's a friend. Mikey Milner was there, and my dad knew him. My dad was actually working, so we're gonna give him the 5 bells tonight. This is for Lieutenant Tommy Williams. Rest in peace, brother.
Salute. I'm out.
The next one, Jose hit me up with this. It's a very sad story. Logan Asher Hanlon is only 5 weeks old, and he died of SIDS. His father is NYPD sergeant, I believe. So it's Amber and John J. Hanlon. That's a tough thing, man. So I think if you look on the Getting Salty fan page, there's a place that you can give donations to help them out with any kind of cost that might be incurred. But prayers out to them, bro. It's very tough. 5 weeks old, very tough.
So happy, and then everything, the rug gets pulled out from under you.
No doubt. Yep. And somebody asked for an update on Chief Steve. Chief Steve is going for surgery, I think, second or third week of March. So he will be out of service. I don't even think he can't even walk on it for like 3 weeks. He's going to be bedridden for like 3 weeks. So maybe I'll run over there. We'll do a show from his bedside. That would be great, man. That would be awesome.
I'm sure he would love it. I'm sure he would love it.
The covers gently over him.
I'm
then
sure he would love
puppet. We'll bring the puppet, and he can wait on Chief Steve when Chief Steve's sitting there, bro. I'm down. What do you guys think, bro?
I would check with him first. You know what I mean? I don't know. You don't want to bum rush him. You want to bum rush him?
No, I don't want to bum rush him, but
No.
I think we can. We'll call it like a bedtime manna with Chief Steve. What do you think?
Monster Piece Theater.
Yeah, I love it. I'll give you an update on my niece really quick too. She's doing better. They're trying to get her off the ventilator so they can send her to a rehab. She's been approved for a rehab center, which is great. Takes the financial burden off, but she has to be. They can't send her to a rehab unless she's breathing on her own. So they got her down to 50%, I believe, on the ventilator. So let's just keep the prayers coming, bro. Miracles do happen. Appreciate it. And maybe we come up. Maybe we can come up with a new Chief Steve song. We go to his bedside. That would be a. You know what, Pete? I think I want to hear the Chief Steve song right now. Give it to me, bro.
Here it comes.
Hear it.
I know. Here it comes, man. I'm Chief Steve, and I'm out sick. That doesn't mean you can act like a dick. Be a professional is what I say. Don't be an OT slut while I'm away. I might be limping around at home, but I can check your hours. I can use the fucking phone. When I'm gone, you'll miss the love between us. No matter what, my brother's still a penis, and I'm Chief Steve.
Never gets old. Never gets old.
And I always find new things. Like, I know all the pictures in there, but like, for example, tonight I just was focused on the one where he's like filling out overtime.
The penis is the best part. My dad is still a penis.
Yeah, man.
God, with you petting his face with the puppet.
Dude, we could do something awesome. We can make a short video. We're doing it. I'm going to call him tomorrow. We're going to do a short visit to Chief Steve's bedside. That's what we're going to do with the puppet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that's crazy.
That's good stuff.
You know what I'm also working on? I'm working on the Salties. It's I've been working a little on it every day.
Is that like a girl group that hangs out behind us, the Salties?
Nope. It's almost
that would be good.
The Emmys. We're gonna have an award show for the show, and we're gonna hand out awards. We're gonna have categories. We're gonna hand out the awards. They'll have acceptance speeches. So
we don't have to pay for these things, do we?
Yeah, they're cheap though. I already.
All right, good. You didn't send them to me yet.
I didn't give you the price list yet. Yeah.
Made in the Philippines, one-time deal. Very, very good.
I got to wait for my father-in-law to come over from the Philippines. He's going to bring him with him. But the firefighter's got slanty eyes, so I know.
Oh, my word. My word. Well, I have a quick shout out. I just want to shout out everybody in our audience who just keeps on coming back. And, all the guys, you guys all hit me up one way or another. Somebody's up in the DMs and hit me up and everything. And, just it's about this or that, like this show hit me. I can't believe how awesome it was or whatever. And I really appreciate that because we do work hard on this. We do try to make this we keep trying to crank out a good product, and it wouldn't all be possible without you guys. We do love you guys. So shout out to the audience, man. Every time we do a good thing, you guys tell us we do a good thing. And then when we're wrong,
that is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
And we deserve that too. So thank you, boys. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, man. We have so many good things planned, bro. It's going to be hysterical. Wait till we get on the road. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
This damn virus has kept us inside, but it's going to be lots of fun. You know, we're going to come down to Florida. We're going to hang with you guys. Maybe we're going to try to get something going for 9/11 for the 20th anniversary, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, like the amount of ideas that Kev alone comes up with is just ridiculous. The man's a machine. I'll be driving along, and I get a call. It's like, yeah, listen, I got this fucking idea. It's the best. It's the best. So thank you, everybody.
You know what my next idea is? We're winning the fucking Pine Tar Derby, bro. That's what we're winning right here. Right here.
I'm putting 20 on it. You're not winning.
Oh.
The only way you're winning is if cars pull out of the way. Other than that,
nope.
You can't win. You got a square front.
Oh, shout out to Johnny Dubs. I love you, bro. Sorry, man. That's the eternal Johnny W. Love you, buddy.
Nubby.
All right. Oh, Johnny W's in there?
No, I would give him a shout out because we love him. We gotta get him back in the bullpen.
He's working on Big Al. So I got a lot. I mean, we had a bunch of guys we had lined up. I got Danny Buckeye lined up, Billy Carlson,
Next
Al Benjamin.
Thursday, we do have Lois coming on.
Fishing.
Charging female firefighter.
Charlie McCarthy. I got Tommy McTeague. I got like 10 guys all in the hopper. But and now we got Lois too. So
definitely need to get this sausage fest. A little change up. So it's gonna be a nice.
What is that?
Well, we got our first trade show too coming up in. I think it's the first one we're going to. June. We have 2 of them in June, so we'll be going on the road filming that live when we go to the trade shows.
What's the dates? Tell me.
So all you cheap bastards, get out there with some cash in your pocket and help support the cause. You know what I'm saying?
You almost had to strangle the girl from FDIC.
Yeah,
tried to bamboozle us.
We got to do a big fight with a big screaming match, but we'll be there.
Mama Lucian.
We'll be in the same spot. Yep, we got FDIC. We have October. We got Philly in June.
We got the New England show.
Pittsburgh, New England, and the New York State Chiefs show. So bring it. Hang out with the boys.
Trying to make all these shows, man.
Buy us some dinner, something. I don't know, whatever you got.
Don't cramp up.
Don't cramp up. I know Johnny Albanese is doing when we go to Pittsburgh. Johnny Albanese says he's taking us to dinner.
Nice.
And that's all I got to say about that. I'm done.
That's all I got. That's all I got. Take us out, kid.
Well, boys, if you're listening to this on something called the internet, find us on iTunes Podcast, Spotify, or wherever fine audio podcasts, whatever that is.
I really like it. I like it. Go ahead.
Also, go to something called youtube.com where you'll find us at Getting Salty Experience. No G at the end. I was misreading that, of course. Like, subscribe, and share, whatever that means. And head on over to the Instagram where you'll find us at Salty Dog Inc., where Mr. Louis Rafano is texting furiously in the morning, trying to get things done, and I'm getting in his way. And last but not least, head on over to www.gettingsaltyapparel.com to find the finest firefighter apparel and accessories in the game on something called the internet.
Hey, you know what you sound like, bro? You sound like the Cinderella Man guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, remember that movie?
Yeah, with Russell Crowe.
Radish, right?
Radish.
And a left comes down. He gets a left to the head.
All right, and if you guys have any questions for the show, email us at gettingsaltyexperience@gmail.com. And guys, head on over to Facebook where we don't run this page, but the Getting Salty fans page. It's a great way for you guys to meet up, talk some stuff all day long. You're seeing great fire stories coming out on there and all kinds of little tidbits. So if you're into the fire service, head on over to Getting Salty Fans and link up with your fellow salty fans. Lots of stuff going on in there and memeing and fun things. So that, my friends, is all. And remember to smoke your Lucky Strikes, the #1 doctor-approved cigarette in America.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, we'll see you guys on Monday, yes?
We got 3 new shirts coming out. We're working on 3 of them coming out soon. That's it. We'll see you on Monday. What are you eating? What are you sucking on? The hell was that? Mike and Ike's?
Oh,
Sour Patch.
Sour Patch. Delicious.
Yeah. All right.
Lucky Strike.
All right. Let's stay low and go, fellas.
All right, we'll see you at the big one.
Cheers, brothers.